So you're completely right. So Hitler is basically a strategy, is a plan. So and in the structure of Freemasons, right, every layer has its own purpose. So the leadership of Bolsheviks, they belong to the 31st degree of Freemasonry, so-called destroyers. And Hitler himself, he was a Templar, and he was a Templar much earlier than 1937. And Templars, or the Knights of the Temple, these knights were called by Russian nobility as not Jewish knights, but the knights who submitted to the Jewish or Khazar ideology. So Templars themselves, with their Temple of Solomon, they already have the entire ideology screwed up, and not even speaking about Freemasons, whose goal is to rebuild the Temple of Solomon and to build the global Zion. So he has already the ideology which was a part of this global plan, and the plan is the plan of Khazars to achieve the world's domination. So they basically used him to subvert, to humiliate, and to destroy our ancestral legacy. And we know very well that Nazis, they collaborated with Zionists, and they had the list of everybody who was supposed to be exterminated. And the rabbi of Germany, which was not actually the German rabbi, it was the rabbi who belonged to this organization, global Jewish organization, to Chabad. So this rabbi, he actually was approving the list of those to be exterminated, and they shipped the rest to Palestine. And Nazis, they collaborated in shipping the best stock of Khazars to Palestine. So they worked together, and the basis for their collaboration was the Nazi ideology that has nothing to do with our ancestral legacy. So because we, as I said to you before, we never were Nazi, we were never genocidal freaks. We lived based upon the principle of holographic structure of the universe and the law of karma. So we will never kill us. And if you want to know what Nazism is, you should look at Talmud. So the foundation of Nazism is the Talmud, which brings together the Nazism of the Old Testament and the Nazism of Khazars, who want the complete world domination based upon the enslavement and the genocide, the ethnical cleansing of the other nations. This is Nazism. So Hitler is a subversion, and basically the crime that the Zionists committed against our culture. And the Holocaust, the only true Holocaust that was in the 20th century, it was the Holocaust of us, because 30 million of Russians were killed not just died of hunger or whatever, 30 million. And how many people, Russians, they killed these Jewish, or I would say Khazar, Bolsheviks, communists killed during the revolutions, all these revolutions. And the civil war in Russia, they actually, did the cleansing in mass of Russians. And as regards the swastika, why I put on swastika? Why? I did it on purpose because it's, swastika is it's not, persecuted maybe as much as in Germany, in Russia, right? But it's still under suspicion. Why I put swastika? Because I did it on purpose. Because if we are to actually defend ourselves from extermination, we should defend our cultural legacy. And if we will do this, we will have to excavate our cities in Siberia. and in Urals and North Poles, and we will find swastikas everywhere. What, our ancestors were Nazi, or they were fascists, or what, they were genocidal freaks? No. And this German, this Aryan salad, Roman salad, they say from heart to sun, right? Syrians do this. You know what, Syrians are fascists now? You know, this is Roman. Syrians right now, not 2,000 years ago. Right now they do this. You know what, they are fascists? Or India, swastika is all over India. Well, every Indian is a fascist. So we have to defend our cultural legacy, because this is called cultural genocide. So we should defend, we should wash it off of Hitler. So I actually even, spoke with the Real Society in London in May of 2013. I was in London. I met with the Real Society of London. I told them, you should write the document where you should say that you denounce Hitler, you denounce Nazism. You know, I'm thinking right now of organizing the Society of Protecting Semites, because what they do right now, they ethnically cleanse Ethiopia. You know, famine in Ethiopia, it was made on purpose to destroy so-called Beta Israel, to destroy the true Negroid Old Testament Jews. When these Jews come to Israel, they sterilize them. So they engage in ethical cleansing of real Jews, of real Semites. So I'm thinking right now of creating a society for protecting Semites. I'm not racist. I'm not Nazi. You know, blacks, they also came. Everybody on this planet came from the stars, from the other dimensions. And for example, the tribe of Dagons, right? They remember even from which star they came. So in their legends, they remember, but they degraded themselves via mixing, intermingling with animals. You know, via committing crimes, you know, via having sex with animals, so-called scatology, via killing their own, via pedophilia, and all these things like homosexuality, pedophilia, human sacrifice, drinking of infants' blood. This all undermines the genetic code of the nation. This is the way of cultural genocide. And we never had on our territories, never. We never had slavery, because as soon as you engage in karmic crime, you lose the ability to fly vimanas. You lose the ability to go through the teleportation portal. So you lose the ability for the higher level technology, which is the information wave technology. And according to the information wave technology, we are united in one field, which is information field, noosphere. And if you do the crime, you kill somebody, right? You can get rid of this crime just hiding from it. So it follows you, you know, it's karmic punishment is tied up with you. And if somebody in your tribe suffers, right, you cannot shield yourself with the wall, because the information waves go through the walls. That's why we had the karmic law. So not just you don't kill, you also don't inflict, suffering upon somebody.
I'd like to get back to my original question,
Putin, yes.
Because you introduced the revolution in Russia, the killing of the Tsar and his family, and you said that was done basically by Bolsheviks, and that they were basically Khazars, and that basically all the Soviet Union leaders were coming from there. And so as I pointed out before, according to my knowledge, Putin was part of this apparatus of the Bolsheviks, and during the end of the Soviet Union. And Well, now he's presented by some, like ex-Chancellor Schröder in Germany. He called him a pure Democrat. And well, I mean, no one in Europe needs to talk about democracy anyway. So this is all a joke. But the point for me is, as I said in my question, that some people say that he is merely an agent of Zionism in the government, and that basically his task will be to hand over the Russian legacy to the New World Order. So, and the point, as I said, what I found in the comparison between Hitler and Putin is a lot of similarities, especially the manifestor aura type, which is very rare on the planet, as you said also with the white race. That's quite interesting, as the manifestors are the old rulers. In ancient times, those were the ones who were ruling the planet, and so they both have this aura type, Hitler and Putin. So they are about initiating processes, and but they are both emotionally open and very easily can be influenced very easily through a certain gate they have in their design. So I'm actually asking, I don't know if you want to answer that
Yeah, I will
question.
answer you full in big time. So, yeah, you're completely right. He was another project because it's too an important piece of land. Very wealthy. This piece of land is very wealthy, and it's not only minerals, resources. It also has our history. So if you have Russia, you have the world.
Of course.
So and even teleportation portals as wave crystals, they still open around Archaim. There is even a movie Americans did. So people just see wave crystals appearing in their gardens, and humans come through these wave crystals. So it's still going on. This is a holy land for us, right? So, and of course they chose Putin on purpose, and his emotional characteristics, his family history satisfied them, right? And the first thing they did, they introduced him to pedophilia. So they have pictures on their hands. So here if something goes wrong, they have this picture. This is the first thing they did, basically. Then he was right? And it is very well known in Russia that he was a double agent, right? And they have these things on their hands. Then he was engaged in some criminal activity. Yes, everybody knows these things in Russia. So there is a lot of compromising materials on hand to control him. Also, there is the law, the agreement that he signed, that if something happens in Russia and people go to the streets in the rioting, then NATO can come in and get control over Russia. So there is a law, there is agreement like this in Russia. So it's an anti-Russian agreement, right? So and everything was okay. The first thing that went wrong with Putin is that when there was this collapse of economy in St. Petersburg, he was in Petersburg at that time, a collapse in economy in Russia in 1990s, right? He wanted to immigrate to Great Britain, and they didn't take him. And they actually wanted to kill him because he knew a lot of stuff that they didn't want to go out. So and Putin is such a person, and many Russians are like I'm like this right now also. So we are very tolerant, but if if somebody betrays us, we never forgive. I'm like this, so I can understand his mentality. So when he found out they want to kill him, right? MI6, right? Or Secret Intelligence Service in England, right? So this was the first, the plan was corrupted, right? So he fell off the track, basically. The first time he fell off the track. And what I'm telling right now, it's well known. It's all on the internet. You find it on the internet. They had these meetings of secret agents in Jerusalem. They all knew each other, Facebook, personally. So this was the first when it happened. The second time it happened, it was 2008 when Georgia attacked Russia during the Olympics in China. They attacked Russia. This land of Ossetia, which actually they had a referendum there, and they wanted to be with Russia, with the Russian Federation. And historically, Ossetians are different people, different language. They're basically Iranians who live on this territory. They have nothing to do with Georgia. But Georgia wanted this land, and they attacked after they got their the consensus with the United States. They attacked during the night, and they used the criminal technique of bombing. They bombed every 2 meters, which is even in the international law. And they killed 2,000 people in the night, in the course of one night. I remember Putin, he was in China at that moment. He's shocked. He came to Bush, like this, well, what you're doing, So this was the second act of betrayal. So, and after that, the love affair was over. And in 2007, he made a speech in München where he said that Russia does not accept the monopolar world. In other words, the new world order as the Anglo-Saxon domination. So Russia wants the multipolar world, meaning many poles, many sovereign countries, and this is what they want, because this is the science, the quantum physics. The holographic principle requires every matrix to be unique and sovereign. Okay, this is the science. If we don't have the social structure, global structure in the world, we can't make the quantum leap. This is the requirement for us to do the quantum leap. Slave traders, slave owners, they can do quantum leap. They can't fly Vimanas. They can't control, system by systems via the remote transmission of wave matrices. Nobody would allow them. They wouldn't be able to. This was, I would say, the awakening moment for Putin. And I will say that right now, he is the #1 target for Zionists to eliminate. I know this, firsthand, being right now in Russia and keeping my hand on the pulse of these events in Ukraine. In Ukraine right now, what happened is a coup d'etat by Chabad, made by Mossad agents under the cover of neo-Nazis who were sponsored by Chabad. Neo-Nazis are sponsored by the wealthiest citizen of Israel, Ihor Kolomoisky, who is the second wealthiest person in Ukraine. He is an oligarch, and he is a Hasidic Jew. He is basically, you might say, one of the leaders of Chabad. He is the leader of the Jewish European Congress. He lives in Switzerland. And the rabbi of city of Dnipropetrovsk just recently said that Putin is among this, leader of Goyim, who is the target #1 to destroy. In other words, they announced jihad against Putin, Zionists, and they said that the Goyim leader and the Goyim country who are the for this land, because the entire history of Russia is the history of the struggle of Russia against Khazarian Empire, against Khazars. Russia, medieval Russia, not just all Russia, but medieval Russia started as Kiev's Rus, with the capital in Kiev. It was founded after, basically, in the fight against Khazars, you know. So the whole Ukraine, there is no country as Ukraine. So there is a Kiev Rus, which was founded in the struggle against Khazars. Right now they try to get it back, and Dnipropetrovsk is the city in Ukraine. And this sponsor of neo-Nazi Kolomoisky, he was given the position of the governor of this city against the Ukrainian law. Ukrainian law states that no foreign citizen can become the state official, you know, in the state of Ukraine. So he was made into the governor against the law. It is a criminal affair, you know. And why they want Dnipropetrovsk? Because the Rabbi Mendel Schneerson, the leader of Chabad, was born in Dnipropetrovsk. They even called Dnipropetrovsk the city of Rabbi. And they built right now the largest Jewish center in the world, which has 20 stories. And it's huge, 20 stories, or 7 towers or 8 towers. So they call it right now the capital of Zionism. So not Jerusalem, Dnipropetrovsk in Ukraine, the capital of Zionism. And the United States, as I said, and European Union, they are used, both of these entities, geopolitical entities, as assets, disposable assets. So Zionists took control over the United States in the Zionist coup d'etat in 1963, when they murdered JFK, John Kennedy. This is when they took control. And Kissinger, look at Kissinger. He is a Talmudic Jew, Hasidic Jew. He was born in a Hasidic family. If you read his biography, he was reading Talmud for 2 hours a day during his teenage years. So of course, if you look at Nuland, Victoria Nuland, he's also from the Jewish Hasidic family. Look at Hillary Clinton. She's also from the Jewish Hasidic family. Where from? From Ukraine, you know? So of course they all unite, you know? They all unite, and all these other people whom they use, who have the Anglo-Saxon heritage, they are just duped and converted into this Zionist agenda, because New World Order, it's not just New World Order, it is a Zion, a global Zion. And this is how we should look at this. And global Zion has nothing to do with Jews and Semites. It is a Khazarian idea. It is about Khazarian, Mongoloid, Turkic empire. So, in other words, what they do, Satanists in the United States, they do rituals of the Negroes from Ethiopia, which are human sacrifice, and they serve rituals of Turks. This is complete absurd. It's an absurd picture, and this is happening precisely because they lost their national roots, their heritage, ancestral heritage. That's why we should fight for our national heritage. We should prove that nationalism has nothing to do with Nazism, because the Declaration of Human Rights, the United Nations Declaration of the Human Rights, states that every nation has the right for its sovereignty. This is the major, basic right of every person in the world, every man in the world, and every nation in the world. This is, I would say, the most important right of humans on this planet, in this dimension. The right to have their own nation, their own national pride, their own national heritage. And this is, swastika has nothing to do with Nazism. And we should fight for this. We should prove, because if we want our national heritage back, we would excavate our city, and in every city we will find swastika, and this will show us that swastikas in Urals, swastikas in Siberia, swastikas in the North Pole, and swastikas in Syria are the same. The same culture, Samara culture, Scythian culture, Sarmatian culture, the same culture, So that's why it's so important. And returning to Putin, right now Putin is made into leader, the same leader as in Libya, and the same leader in Syria, the same leader in Iran. So they the target number one. So they find people like him, they use them, and after they use them and they are getting out of their control, they destroy him. So if we will not fight, the same fate as Gaddafi, will be given to Putin. And he understands this. Everybody in Russia right now understands. And we united. Everybody, right, left, pagans so-called, and also the Christians and atheists. His approval ratings are now incredible, like almost 80%. Almost the entire nation supports him. And I believe that right now this awakening should be given to every, person of white race in the world. We should not be afraid of actually, acknowledging that we have race, we have nation, we have nationality, we have our national history. It's normal to have monoracial states. It is normal to have national states. And if it's a big state and many nations live inside the state, it's still normal. It's still not. Every nation living in a family is still allowed to have its national heritage, like in Russia, right? So it's a federation. So I would say about Putin is that he understood that the fate of Gaddafi is right now is prepared for him. So Zionists always say, if you read this document by Menachem Mendel Schneerson, the leader of Chabad, he said there, we will use Goyim, and after using them, we will destroy them the same way we destroyed other Goyim. So this is available information. Everybody can read Talmud, and right now it's actually
okay.
Everybody's aware of this right now in Russia.
I understand the direction you're heading, and I don't want to be a pain in the ass, but I have to ask because there are reports from US Secret Service, for instance, that Hitler later was observed living in South America, so that he didn't get killed in 1945 when the official story says that he committed suicide. And so that what they basically say is that he did his task, he did his job, destroying Germany, and then he was kind of rewarded by being allowed to continue living in South America. So the point for me is, what is the point now with Putin? Now, okay, you say he once was a double agent, he got introduced into pedophilia, and now he's not following their task, and now he's on the target list, and as if he's now target number one. And so do you have the feeling that he's now really somehow opposing the New World Order in that sense, or that he's just playing this role and then later he will whatever have his time in South America or elsewhere as a reward for having handed over Russia? Because this is really a serious question, and
I understand. So I would say like this. First of all, there are not just Zionists, thank God. There are not only Zionists in the world. Right now there are three global powers. First one is the Satanist-Zionist Alliance, which is Anglo-Saxon plus Israel, Zionists, and Vatican also participates. We have three cities, right? City of London, Washington, and Vatican, right?
Definitely,
together
yes.
in a triangle.
Yes.
So then there is the, we call it in Russia the fifth virtual Reich. because the gold of Germans was the gold of the German Reich was saved. Bormann took this gold out of Germany together with Anna Nerba and SS. SS and Anna Nerba never signed the capitulation papers. So only Wehrmacht signed this capitulation papers. And I know I don't have facts, but I believe, I see, when I say I believe, that the entire Latin America is the net of the underground cities going to South Pole, and basically this is the empire, and they did money, they invested this money in a small underground, over the ground businesses, but the major business was cocaine. And then there was the war in Argentina between, British Empire and them, basically. This Reich. The war was still going on a long time after the Second World War. And this, as I believe, this thing is still intact. So there are three world powers in the world. Right now, what Putin did, the first thing he did, he went to Argentina and signed an agreement with the president of Argentina about building the military base in Argentina, Russian military base. So to me, this is basically the agreement between Germans who survived the Second World War, and because you are right, there is no Germany. They destroyed Germany. This thing in Germany is not Germany. It's a Khazars genocidal concentration camp, I would say. So between those who survived the collapse of Germany and Russia, Anglo-Saxons, they're afraid of this. This is the thing that they're most afraid of. Because if Germany unites with Russia, there is no way they will win this war. So, and this is what should be. So, these Germans who survived, they should denounce Hitler, they should denounce Talmud, they should denounce Nazism, and they should unite with Russia, and then nobody will beat us. This is over. And they understand this. That's why it's crucial that we all unite in the information war against Zionism, so that we make it possible for us to bring this project of Latin America plus Russia to fruition. This is what is going to happen. So to answer to your question, whether he is a Zionist puppet, I would say he was a Zionist puppet. He was going with this main rabbi, meeting with him every year, many times, like 8 times a year. He was meeting with this rabbi, Ber Lazar.
I saw the photos.
Yes, he was wearing this kippah. He was going to synagogue, and people even were saying that he is partially Jew. And many in the government, Russian government, are partially Jew. For example, Medvedev, he's a partially Jew. His wife is a partially Jew. But the point is that they understood now that they will discard of them. So, and as I told you, there is this certain mentality in Russians. I have this mentality, and I feel that he has this mentality. And this mentality is that we don't forgive betrayal. He was betrayed. And as I understand him, it's over. So his affair with Zionism is over. It doesn't. You see, this doesn't mean anti-Semitism, as I told you. We are not anti-Semitic. Jews, even Khazars themselves, or Turks, whatever. I mean, let them live in Turkey. I would prefer, reconstruction of Constantinople a little bit more. But let them live. We murdering other nations is such a great crime that brings so much karmic punishment that we stay away from it. We don't need them. We can get right now the quantum leap, and then we don't have to control this planet. With the whole universe will be ours. We can go to any dimension, so we don't have to even to fight with them. Right now, Germany, not Germany in Europe, but Germans who survived in Latin America and Russia, they should build their own financial system, called BRICS. The BRICS countries. They should build it, they should develop it, and they should protect our national history, our national legacy. And we are one tribe, one nation. but this does not mean that we need to have one state. You understand what I mean? We have Russia. I hope Germany will get back on track, and Germans will get back to Germany. So this doesn't mean that we have to sleep in one bed if we love each other in one nation, right? So this what should happen. And I would say to you that there was Olympics right now in Sochi, and Western Zionists, this alliance, the whole alliance, Satanist-Zionist Alliance, they boycotted it. So they didn't come, to the Olympics. And I saw Dmitry Medvedev. He was in shock. It was shock. Right now, this Zionist Satanist Alliance, they put every member of the parliament in Russia on the hit list. They can't come to the United States.
Okay.
Medvedev also was in shock, because every illusion that they will accept or they will forgive, they will take them in. Also, the very important moment of awakening was that we realized that the whole project of so-called Holy Roman Empire is fake. This was another moment of realization, because the point is that there is the legacy of power, the legitimacy, right? So, like, where it comes from, right? The power. So, in 800, Charlemagne proclaimed himself the Holy Roman Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. At the same time, in the real Roman Empire, there was the Empress Irene. So the whole thing with the Holy Roman Empire was fake, and all the crusades were not to excavate or protect or whatever Jerusalem, and not about Jerusalem. They were all about Constantinople, because all the Christian artifacts European monarchs used to justify their power, the absolute tyranny over their tribesmen, were taken from Constantinople, and they finally ruined Constantinople in 1204. So they literally destroyed the city. And Renaissance is a fake notion, because there was no Renaissance. They just destroyed the 1,000-year empire of Romans, which was our empire. And this was the empire with such a level of culture that they even now, right now, don't have. There was so perfect, I would say developed social structure that every person in the empire, every citizen, was getting free ration of bread per life. Every day, free ration of bread per life. They took care of their tribesmen. And this is multinational empire, by the way. And the emperor was elected. It was elective monarchy. So it was much more advanced than anything that exists right now. So it was very prosperous empire. And they let slaves go. After 7 years of work, they let them go. So it wasn't precisely slavery society. So they destroyed the most advanced civilization on this planet. And in the 14th volume history of the Freemasonry by some guy Mackey, there is no even mentioning of the Roman Empire. Only one sentence. I found only one sentence in the 14 volumes of the Freemasonry. So the whole story about the Temple of Solomon, this Old Testament, it's all fake. There is nothing like this. All cities that they excavated in Palestine or Syria, all swastika cities covered with swastikas. So the moment of awakening for Russians was that the whole bullshit with these Templars, with these Freemasons, this is all bullshit. It's bullshit. It's all fake. There is no honor in participating in the Templars' order who excavated the Temple of Solomon. It's fake. Templars were ignorant. They were illiterate. Nobody could write and read. You know how it can be proven easily? Besides other facts, it's all well-known facts. You take Anna of Kiev, the daughter of prince in Kiev, she married the king of France, Henry I. Neither he nor his entire court could write and read. They signed themselves with crosses. She was able to write and read 5 languages. 5. She married him in the 12th century. In the 12th century. So all the crusaders, they were ignorant. So only people who could write and read, they were Khazars, who basically were living around Constantinople and whose purpose was to destroy Roman legacy. They were enemies number 1. So basically this was who brought culture and all these fairy tales about King Solomon to Europe. And and this is basically what Germans should realize, that the whole thing with the European culture should be, I would say, very should be cleaned over this foreign layers of culture. They should be basically rebuild the legacy of power. This you must say bloodline of power. And in 1475, Constantinople fell to Turks, right? And Sophia Paleolog, the niece of the Roman Emperor, was taken to Vatican, and the Pope gave her as a wife to Russian Prince Ivan III. She married him after the fall of Constantinople, in 20 years or something. After that, she married a Russian prince, and she brought to Russia the legacy, the Roman heritage. She brought to Russia even the imperial throne. She brought to Russia the 2-headed eagle, right? She brought to Russia the right to be the heirs of the Roman Empire. She brought to Russia the right to bear the name of Caesar. So Russian Tsar, it's Caesar, basically. So that's why British Empire, British monarchs, they accepted Jews, and they took the lineage coming from King David. That's why, because the whole project of deriving power from Roman Empire failed after Sophia Paleolog brought the heritage of Roman Empire to Russia and made Russia the third Rome. And legitimately so, because it was so, because we are the same, basically we are the same nation. And in Europe, right, what happened? With the Renaissance, they created the fairy tale of the Roman Empire, pagan Roman Empire. It was fake, because in the more than 1,000-year Roman Empire, it was split into the western part and eastern part only for 300 years. And when it was split into 2 parts, western part and eastern part, it was tetrarchy, meaning that there was 2 emperors and 2 Caesars. And they were basically ruling it together, and they were even joined together by the marital connections. So the empire was always one empire, Roman Empire, with the capital in Constantinople. And when it was split to the west part and eastern part, western part and eastern part for 300 years, it was never the capital in Rome. Western part never had capital in Rome. So it's all fake, And when there was in Nicaea, there was Nicene Council, right, about the dogma of the Christian faith. There was only a small church official from Rome. So Rome was never a center of a capital of the western part of the Roman Empire. And from England, there was nobody. So there was literally a background in England. So the whole thing with the Roman Empire, like a Western Roman Empire, and like Holy Roman Empire is the heir of this Western Roman, it's all fake. Basically, that's why the whole project of the Otto Habsburg for the revival of the Holy Roman Empire and European Union as the revival of the Holy Roman Empire. It's all fake. So this European culture right now, professors, researchers, archaeologists, they should realize major cornerstones of our culture, and this is one of the cornerstones. And when you realize this, there is no honor. We don't want to be the members of the Freemason order and to rebuild the Temple of Solomon. It has nothing to do with us. It's a Negroid thing from Ethiopia, and let them have the temple, tribe of Seth, the temple of Seth. Knesset is the house of Seth, literally. A synagogue is the Greek word, okay? So in Hebrew, it means the house of Seth. And tetragrammaton, right, the secret name of God, is also the Greek word. So the whole thing with Kabbalah, it's fake. They took it from us, from Pythagoras. And Pythagoras took it from our legacy of people who came from the North Pole, slowly descending towards, Southern Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, what I see is that a lot is going on in the world that is based on what this former CIA director William Casey said, that when everything the American public believes is false, we will have fulfilled our task. And I guess that this is basically what this whole New World Order agenda is about, to install things, beliefs, persons, even cultural habits, whatever, that are completely false, that are unnatural, that are like whatever, all this kind of feeding genetically modified stuff to people and proposing homosexuality as the leading part of a culture. I mean, it is part of a culture. I have no problem with people being homosexual, but they don't have to tell me that I am in truth also homosexual and I just didn't have my coming out. What a bullshit. I mean, to be honest, I even tried it once when I was a young guy, and I'm just not into guys. That's basically it. I mean, when I tried, I really tried to get into this to prove it to myself, because I was also like confused in my head, and I noticed that I can't get aroused with a man. That's basically it. I had to think of a woman, and I mean, so that's basically it. It's what the point is, that we are what we are, and they try to put things on our heads, and they try to confuse everything. And there are even historians in Israel now who say that there wasn't even a King David, that all this is made up, that all this is just fantasy. And there are many historians who say that there was no Jesus, that it's a remake of Horus, and that this is just like getting people into belief systems, and then they can control them. And so what is as we are on the brink of war at this time, I mean, I see a real danger that all this agenda stuff of destroying culture and of introducing this brainwashed, brain-controlled, you mentioned this brain computer interface thing, and I see that this agenda, and of course they call you a Nazi, they call you paranoid, they call you a conspiracy theorist, which, by the way, is a CIA term that was invented by CIA when they noticed that people didn't buy their story about the murder of JFK. And in the 60s, they invented conspiracy theorist as a term to ridicule people who believe that there was something else behind the murder of JFK than this loner, what was his name? They sell us as the murderer of JFK, and with this gun he got from this this supermarket basically, no? And from there he shot JFK. I mean, the whole story is so ridiculous, but they ridicule everyone who now, and when politically correct brainwashed people will watch this interview, they will say two Nazis are talking with each other.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they do in Germany. Yeah. And yeah, and that's and now she's even has revealed it to us. No, she showed us her swastika, and she's blonde, so she must be a Nazi. I mean, the arguments are so stupid. It's amazing that so many people buy into this. And so the point now for me is you spoke about fighting this agenda. So what is your, let's call it a strategy? What would you recommend to people who are aware of what's going on and who want peace on Earth, and who want that we don't live in the near future on a completely destroyed planet with a brain implant and basically fed on genetically modified crap? What is your strategy?
Well, you're completely right. Right now, we are in the state of war, and we are on the brink of the hot war. But we are in the stage of the Cold War, and Cold War never stopped, because the goal right now for Khazars is to destroy Russia. It's the last, basically, forepost of our civilization. And when they destroy Russia, they can actually control the planet. And right now, their goal is to destroy Russia. So the first thing that we should all do, we should unite. We should work basically on contacting every person who is aware about this agenda. We should bring this information to people, and this information is not only about the plan of the new world order, right, or Zionism or Zion. It is the knowledge about our ancestral legacy, about our ancestors, about true knowledge about our history, about our national pride, about our culture. This is the war. The war is the information war, or they call it also the psychological war. So they, right now, what they do, they unite trolls who are trolling the internet. They have the program that they actually suppress the information, on the social networks, for example, on Facebook, which is a completely CIA, company, literally financed by Zionists. They right now are lost complete shame, because in America the impersonification is forbidden by the law. The impersonification through fake profiles. When there was this Orange Revolution in Libya, they had a ship which was staged at the by the shore of Libya. They had the whole Shaban, the whole the division of this internet trolls, who were actually working on the information war for Libya, and they staged the whole taking over of the palace of Gaddafi. They staged it in the pavilion which they built in Qatar, so like a virtual game. So they did the same thing in Ukraine. You can't even imagine it. They flooded social networks, Facebook, with this horrible, uneducated young dupes, fools, who don't understand that they're used for their own destruction. And they, I got threats from them. That was unbelievable. And what they do right now, they go to your mailbox, they raise your emails, they raise your post, or they put a virus slowing down your ability to use the social network. So if you want to see their agenda or what they want, this is already is shown. Facebook is not the social network. It is basically their way for them to try on the artificial intelligence paradigm. This is what it is. They basically built Facebook as the model for the future, where the planet is ruled by the artificial intelligence. This is what it is. Facebook is not the social network. So we should bring this information to the people in correct terms. So we should fight for the terms. We should, we should build the culture. We should revive the culture of our people. We should prove that Nazism is not nationalism. We should, we should bring out that New World Order is not just New World Order. It is a Zion. It is Zion. It is the project of Zionists. It is the Satanist-Zionist Alliance. It's not just the domination of the United States. United States right now are the target number 2. So the target number 1 is Russia. The target number 2 is the United States. Russia falls, after this, United States falls. So it should not be just anti-American propaganda from us. We should be aware. Also, they're destroying right now the United States. In California, already, the majority is Latin American. It's not our country anymore. We will soon be a minority there. It's not the United States, which was fighting the Second World War. It's a different country.
Yeah, of course.
The information war is the first point. The second point is the technology.
Yes.
Technology. We have technology. They don't. Okay, this is our weapon. We have technology. We have the information wave technology. In 1985, CNN did the report about the development of this technology. And they said that Russia is ahead. I told you already before in the interview about this.
Yes.
Ahead. So we have this technology. And why we have it? Because we have the specific social structure that allows us to have access to this technology on the information wave level. Yeah. We have genetic memory and we have the ability to basically, unfold this technology. People who do human sacrifice and pedophilia, they lose the ability to do this technology. So we should defend our access to this technology. Because this is what it is. So basically, we should develop it. We should develop it. We should build our own financial system which will, invest in this technology. We should do information war as a policy, not just you and me. It should be the forefront. It's like we should all unite. It should be like we should build our people. We should build the organizations like they have. United Nations, which was originally our organization. In 1987, it has, the document against Zionism, which proclaimed Zionism the worst form of apartheid, racism, right? As soon as the USSR fell, Soviet Russia fell, they announced this document in 1992. So we should build our own organizations, our own systems, our own networks, our own internet. Yeah. We should have our own internet because the first target is internet. They want to bring it down. They want to they can take down our interview. They can take down all the sites that have this information tomorrow. This is what they want. They already announced this issue. The other thing, very important thing, they want to burn our libraries as they burned it before. They burned the library in Athens, in Alexandria, and other libraries. And then they rewrote the history. This is the very thing they want to do now with Google. All this putting books into the electronic format is precisely their agenda to again burn the libraries and rewrite the history. This is very important. We should take care of preserving our information, our artifacts, our legacy. If we can't, protect physical artifacts, we should take pictures. For example, in the Metropolitan Museum, they took down every vase with swastika. You know?
Okay.
Half a year ago, I took pictures of 5, okay, something, 5 or 6 or something. Right now, none, okay? The only vase they put out with urn has swastika on the back, turned to the wall so nobody can see. So they literally conduct the cultural genocide, and we should be clever. You know, every site, every our site should have disclaimer, the same disclaimer as I have on my website, where I denounced Nazism. I denounced Nazism of Talmud, or Nazism of Hitler, which are of the same nature. We should have our lawyers. They have their organization in the United States, where they go after everybody who is against Jews, right? I'm aware. I mean, they already started doing this to me. I got right now regularly on the Facebook, I get attacks. They attack me as Nazi. I am not Nazi. I'm not against the blacks, or I'm not against Jews or Semites. I'm not against Khazars. Let them be, But this doesn't mean that we should destroy our culture and die for them to exist, right?
Of course not. And what I wanted to ask before I forgot was that you mentioned the BRICS states, and this involves also India and China, which are according to population, the 2 biggest nations in the world at the moment, with together over 2 billion people. And what I heard from one contact I have in India is that also in New Delhi, they try to install a Zionist puppet as prime minister in the next elections, and that they have cooperations there between Israel army and Indian army, so that they basically want to control the masses in India to use them for their purposes. And so I'd be interested in what you think about especially the role of China, as they seem to be technologically more advanced than India. And so because they say that they also have some kind of advanced technology, I'm not sure if that's true.
Well, I believe that sooner or later we will have to restore our nation, our national identity, racial identity, and the traditional view on the state, on the family, on the whole thing, because we don't have to unite with other races and other nations if they have other agendas or they have other histories. We don't have to. We can coexist with them peacefully, yes, but it doesn't mean that we have to build this one state. So BRICS, union, we would say collaboration, I would say it's an artificial union, only going to some length. It is very probable, okay, that China will get out of this union sooner or later. And by the way, Merkel, right? Who is a Zionist puppet, by the way?
Who?
Though Merkel, Angela Merkel.
Ah, yeah, sure.
Yes, well, she is a Zionist puppet. And what she did recently, she gave to China the ancient map of China, which is not precisely very ancient, because there are other maps, okay? And the northern China on this map belongs to China, much far further into the Russian territory. Though there are other maps when we have the China till the Great Chinese Wall. By the way, we built the Great Chinese Wall because the armory openings face China. Okay, so it's very easy to prove that Chinese Wall we built against China. And Chinese legends, they have these stories about a guy who came on the dragon to China and brought culture, and they were archanthropos, basically. So they were people who intermingled with monkeys, humanoid monkeys. They ruined their genome. They conducted human sacrifices and all other horrible things. So we were bringing culture to China many times, and their culture of a dragon is basically their very vague recollection of our Vimanas. This is what it is, nothing else. So dragon is a Vimana, is a ship with the fiery breath in the sky. So, and this map that Merkel gave to China made a sensation. And China, the whole China project is a Vatican project. They sent monks, Templars, to China. I don't remember exactly the date, but it was very late. It was maybe 13th century or something like this. They sent Templars to China, and these Templars wrote the many thousand years history of China. And they erased our present from this history. They erased the truth that we brought culture to China from the north. And what they do now, they have pyramids, they put they plant trees on this pyramid to destroy them. They destroy our legacy. They conceal the truth that these pyramids are our pyramids, and they conceal the truth that they even exist. And in the north of China there is a desert, and the desert very dry. That's why the mummies are preserved, and the wind bears these mummies every year. They find these mummies, and the mummies have blonde hair, and they have European features. So you cannot prove that they, Mongoloids, build these pyramids. These pyramids are built by us. So the very fact that they conceal this truth already says to us that we cannot trust Chinese. I mean, I don't have anything against Chinese. I mean, I wish them the best, but they should be more honest with their agenda. And when there was this war in Vietnam, what they did, they attacked Vietnam, remember? So, and after that, they offered themselves to the USA, to the United States, as their kind of ground for producing these cheap goods. I lost the image.
Yes, I still see you moving, but I'm frozen.
You're frozen. But yeah. So in other words, I wish them good. I wish them as good neighbors, but they have their own pretenses on their Russian territory, which is Russian territory. They conceal the truth about history, and sooner or later they might have some pretenses, territorial pretenses, and they are basically their population is so big, and if there will be the same development, right, as right now with this desert moving to the north, right? If we will exhaust the resources, right, then if we will not make quantum leap, then the planet will need Russian resources, and the predators will come for these resources. So this is precisely it. So, and this will be a third world war and the destruction of this planet. So in our best bet is to make the quantum leap, so that there will be no war.
Okay.
And we contain China. Basically, this is what it is. Because on their own, unfortunately, they they don't. They don't have this technology. Sorry, neither them nor Israel. Right now, what happens with Ukraine? The first thing that this Ihor Kolomoisky did, he went to this big industrial plant which was producing this rocket, which was called Satan. And this is the most advanced rocket, nuclear rocket, basically, on the planet. So, and right now they have negotiations in Turkey, secret negotiations of passing this document to Israel. And Israel has nuclear weapons from Ukraine. All the nuclear weapons they have is shipped from Ukraine to Israel. But they don't have the rockets to deliver. Right now, what Igor Kolomoisky discusses in Turkey is the purchase of these carriers of the nuclear, weapon to purchased by Israel. That's what it is. They themselves, they are unfortunately incapable of advanced technology, and they're precisely because of the social structure which ruins the information wave crystal of the brain, that it cannot resonate with the high level of technology. This is what it is. And right now, if you would ask me what we should do, we should precisely unite on every level. I believe that there are German industrialists. We know this, that there is a fifth Reich in the world. Or every German industrialist should join Russia together, okay, and bring this technology to fruition. This is the only thing that we can do to survive. Otherwise, sorry, there is no death. We will be going to the other dimension, but on a much more inferior level. For us, it will be the loss. So Brzezinski already announced the agenda. The agenda is basically to have first Ukraine fighting Russia, and then Russia fighting China. This is basically the agenda. So they will do everything to collide China and Russia. And what Merkel did right now, it's the start. So she gave the map to China as a present, with these territories as part of China. So it's clearly it's a provocation. It's a provocation because because they are so I would say even stupid. They're just stupid. They think that they will get the resources of Russia and they will solve their problems. We can right now solve any problem in this planet, because with this technology we can have unlimited access to energy, to resources, to food, while the process of transmutation from quantum vacuum, we can have anything. There is not a territorial issue any longer, Colonialism is precisely a Old Testament Talmudic idea that you should colonize somebody, enslave the population, and get the gold from these people. Right now, 21st century, these people steal gold. It's unbelievable. They went to Libya, they stole Libyan gold. They went to Ukraine, they stole Ukrainian gold. We can get gold. I know scientists here in Moscow. They already getting gold from the quantum vacuum. It's no problem. You want gold? They can get gold. They get pure gold. To make it yellow, you need to add stuff. They can add stuff, no problem. So you can get any gold in the world as much as you want. So I would say that our industrialists, financiers, they all should unite together and make unions analogous to the unions that they have, Zionist Satanist unions. We have our own orders, not Templar order, but our own orders, secret orders. We should have the order of people who preserve, like guardians who guard our culture. We should have it. They have it. We always had it. We should have this kind of, and people who guard our culture. We should have programs, strategies. We should make it into the survival mechanism, because right now we are on the brink of survival. This is a very serious stuff. and they're working basically on not just taking territories or precisely subverting minds. They're working on destroying intellects of people
Of course.
in the information war. So this is basically what it is. There should be programs, not just bricks. Programs, for example, history program. There are cities, our ancient cities in Siberia, megalithic cities, built with these huge blocks of rock, which are like megalithic cities in Latin America, Peru, for example. So we should have joint expeditions. German industrialists should invest money, because they are their legacy, not our. These are their cities also, ancestors. Our ancestors lived there. It's our joint legacy. They should protect this with their money and with their energy. They should realize this.
I don't know if you heard that there was the boss of Siemens, this huge German enterprise, and he was in Moscow talking to President Putin also. And he got criticized on German television, almost as in Roman Inquisition, and how he could do that and go there and whatever, and if he doesn't know who Putin is, and as if this is now the new empire, the evil empire or whatever. And he just said that, well, basically Siemens has had relations with Russia for almost 200 years, and they will continue this, and they're not concerned about political ups and downs, and that's what they're used to. And so I'm sure that there are many people who are aware of both the agenda that now wants to talk us in this hysterical manner via the mass media and politicians into this new war they want, and especially now also in April I see a lot of tension also on the astrological level, and also a lot of possibilities for false flags which might happen in this eastern Ukraine part and even into western Russia. And so we will see what they're planning. But I think if there are many people aware, even if those things happen, they don't buy it. Because we saw that on 9/11. And I guess since 9/11, this satanic agenda is acted out more openly. And we could see that even on 9/11, that very soon many people started to ask questions. So we are not yet so stupid as they would like to have us. Although they try to do fluorides in the water and with all this mobile technology and chemtrails and whatever, aspartame and vaccinations and all this kind of shit they try to use to stupidify people. It doesn't seem to work on the level yet they want it to work. So from my side, I would say it's high time that we do things like, for instance, we both do now, that we talk and we share with others, and that many people notice that it's about each and every one of us. That it's not about like waiting for the next good guy who saves us, because that's what so many people are used to. I see many people in the West now, they say, okay, Obama, he's really a bad guy, and so Putin has to save us. And I think it's about people to wake up and take responsibility for their own best interests, and of course talk, as you say, we can talk and share with others, but we are who we are, and So Russians are supposed to be Russians and not get mingled into some kind of mixed race. Without any identity, and because that's what I see as the end goal of this slave new world order thing, that they want a weak mixed race with no identity they can easily trick into everything. So I think it was a great start today. I mean, we talked now for over 2 hours and I recorded everything, and I would suggest that for today we take a break here. I'd say we're definitely not finished, and I will put that on my blog. I will first put it in English, and then I will try to get it translated also, and so that we have a German version also. And then in a while we will just check if there are questions coming up or comments, and if we would give this a second try, and we'll have some more to share. What do you what do you think?
Yeah, it was a pleasure
Yeah, for
talking
me too.
to you. Yeah, and hope to do the continuation.
Yeah, and so you see, even this CIA thing, Facebook, can't keep people from uniting and from connecting and from sharing. And so this is what I love about the internet also. And thank you very much for taking your time,
Yeah,
Irene.
thank you.
And
Thank you.
see you later. Talk to you soon.
Okay,
Greetings to
bye.
Moscow. Bye.
Yeah,
Ciao.
bye. Ciao.